I didn't do anything. I did nothing. Oh my God.
So I was down in Dallas, Texas for Aquachella 2024, which was a really cool show with awesome animals and fish. Tons of people were here. I met a lot of you, a lot of subscribers came up and said hi. It was a really fun event. There were even some really expensive fish here, which I did in my last video. I also was hanging out in the Custom Aquariums booth with Will and Summer Nace, and also Mark Beavers from Custom Aquariums. So you'll see those three in this video as well, because I'm going along for the ride with them. And one thing you may not have thought about before is just the cleanup and breakdown that happens after each of these Aquachellas. It's a lot of work getting aquariums, paludariums, and big exhibits all broken down and moved into locations. So I was happy to help work with the crew to break down some of these exhibits, get them into the U-Haul, because we had a couple stops before we went to the Dallas World Aquarium. And let me tell you, this was one of my favorite public aquariums I've ever seen. It was truly incredible. But the first stop was Universal Rocks, and this was just opening up, so I just took a peek into their office, which did have a couple cool aquariums, including an angelfish tank. The light wasn't even on yet, but they did have a really big display tank. I think it was about a 400-gallon tank with some of their Universal Rocks products in the tank, and a really big pleco. But the next stop was even cooler. It was the DFW Reptarium.
We just stopped at Universal Rocks, and now we have to drop off a few things at DFW Reptarium. They also have some really cool things, including some fly river turtles that we're going to check out. We got Will Nace with us, and then we're going to check out the Dallas Aquarium. Let's go.
And even though I'm definitely an aquarium guy, I really did enjoy my visit to the Reptarium. They had this beautiful aquarium built by Custom Aquariums for a previous Aquachella. Once that show was done, they transported the tank here, along with the two fly river turtles, which have really grown. And these guys are amazing in this square tank with the Universal Rocks tree built into the middle. It's a really cool collaboration that was used at the show, but is now a permanent aquarium here at DFW Reptarium. And these won't be the last of the fly river turtles you'll see in this video, which is awesome because I like turtles.
I like turtles.
And also in this tank were a few crawfish and some schooling fish. It was just a really cool display. I'm glad they were able to move it to a location and keep it running. And also at this Reptarium, they had an incredible selection of snakes, lizards, turtles, and if you were into reptiles, this is the place to be. The equivalent to an aquarium store, it would probably be my favorite local fish store.
So these are some pretty awesome setups, and it's got my wheels turning. Kind of want to do a paludarium, especially after seeing the one at Aquachella. And also we got the parrots in the background, making it hard to film. Hello.
Hello.
We have a couple big monitors here. These guys are awesome. We had one at the Aquachella booth. It was really cool. What's up, man? What's up?
And just like at Aquachella with some of the other setups with paludariums, with fish in the bottom and reptiles up top, it is definitely something I would like to do. It would be very different from just a standard aquarium, but I would love to have maybe a turtle or have lizards or snakes at the top and cichlids at the bottom. I think it would be an awesome setup, but even though the Reptarium was an awesome pit stop along the way, it doesn't hold a candle to the main event here, so let's get to it.
Okay, so we are walking into the Dallas World Aquarium. I am with Will Nace, Summer, and Mark Beavers from Custom Aquariums. Let's find some cichlids. I think I'm gonna like this place. Right outside you see cichlids. It's a really nice African cichlid display tank. So I think we're gonna find some awesome displays in here. Let's go.
And just seeing the cichlid tank full of Mbuna cichlids from Lake Malawi outside of the aquarium itself gave me a lot of excitement just walking up, knowing that these exhibits are going to be something else. And once we start walking into the facility, you're going to start to see some of the incredible theming that is at this World Aquarium. It is much more than just an aquarium. And even before I walk into the front doors, they had this awesome exhibit with arowanas, some of the most beautiful arowana I've ever seen, and then a huge fly river turtle. I told you.
I've seen more fly river turtles this weekend than
you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I was with Will and Summer Nace, who know pretty much every animal there is, especially when it comes to reptiles, but they were really good at filming some of the exhibits and showing me what some of these animals were. And you'll see a lot of exotic birds and penguins and flamingos. It was really cool to have these all above you in the aviaries as you walk into the Dallas World Aquarium. And as you can see, there's plants everywhere. It sounds like nature. There's a big waterfall right in the middle that leads down into the huge Amazonian aquarium at the bottom. You may even see that big gray blob there. That is a huge freshwater manatee that has some amazing tank mates that I can't wait to show you later in the video.
We can see down into this huge tank that has arapaima, red-tailed catfish, a manatee, and we're gonna get down there so we can see it into the glass panels. Cannot wait to get down there. Let's go.
And I just loved how this aquarium was set up. As you walk through, you're walking downwards towards some of the big exhibits. You're gonna see birds, monkeys, sloths even above you while you walk down towards the big show-stopping aquariums. And this includes not only this big freshwater tank, but other big tanks along the way, and some big shark tanks towards the end of the video. But with all these exhibits, like I said, even above you, there was just so many places to look. I could probably walk through this World Aquarium very slowly and still not see everything. But I was still very drawn to this big Amazonian aquarium at the bottom, so let's continue on.
So we're in Will's room with the anaconda here.
So this is a green anaconda. These are the biggest or fattest snakes in the world. They are boas, they are constrictors, and they pretty much live their entire lives in water because they get too fat. But they are incredible snakes. If you guys ever get a chance to check them out, you should definitely come check them out.
And Will put one around my neck once.
Oh, that's right. I did do that. I forgot about that. See?
It was awesome to see this anaconda just chilling there while you had discus in the tank and some cardinal and neon tetras. A really cool Amazon themed tank. And then there's this big electric eel followed by the tank we saw just a minute ago. As we got closer to it, we had a better vantage point. The bluish green arowana here was awesome. There's a flagtail, turtles, and this arowana may have been the coolest I've ever seen besides the two we saw right before we walked into this aquarium.
Okay, so we were getting further down into the aquarium and it basically just gets better each level you go. So I can't wait to show that big tank from the bottom. So many of you know I have the big plywood aquarium and I am going to be getting one of these. I cannot wait. Probably going to be very similar to these guys in size and color. They're like, take me home.
But yeah, I could have stood by this baby stingray tank for hours as I'm just completely mesmerized by these guys. I can't wait to get one of my own, but there are even bigger and better things to see.
All right. Oh my God.
As you can see, this aquarium is just next level when it comes to the fish stocking, how big they are. The arapaima was truly show-stopping. There were a few in here. The red-tailed catfish in here were gigantic. They were the size of a human. I just can't even imagine them being in a home aquarium at all, just seeing the full size they get. There were a lot of different turtles in here, stingrays, this giant manatee which came up right to the glass, seemed to love interacting with some of the people here. Wasn't shy of the camera at all. I swear it even gave me a wave. But then you continue on through the aquarium and you get to this, which looks a little more like your traditional public aquarium with different displays and a little less of the nature aspect above you. These are all saltwater tanks, beautiful fish with triggers, tangs, lots of corals and anemones, and I could get lost in this for days. One of my favorite things to see in a public aquarium is definitely octopus, because they are so big, intelligent, and you just feel like they're thinking like a human. They're just so smart. And it was next to some really cool display tanks, like I said, with really big anemones. Then right down the hallway is the first saltwater tunnel, which has some saltwater stingray and some massive fish. And as we continue on, this tank didn't have the light on, so it's hard to see, but I film every cichlid I can find, and this was one of them. I believe it was a pure-size cichlid, but again, I can't really tell because it was hiding most of the time. And then we're greeted by this incredible tunnel with a shark tank of a few different species. They were actively swimming around. It was an amazing shark tunnel, and you could see it going straight up into the rest of the aquarium.
These are sawfish, and we actually have them here in Florida. We're not even in Florida, but where we live, they're native there, and their numbers have been drastically declining. So seeing one even here is like super exciting.
And like I said, Will and Summer Nace know so much about aquariums, reptiles, and other animals. It was almost like having a professional tour guide as I was walking through the World Aquarium. And I swear, as you continue on, there's just more and more exhibits you weren't expecting, with birds, some crocodiles, and they just looked incredible, and the layout of this place was just something else.
I didn't do anything. I did nothing. I was gonna give him a kiss. That was it.
This tank had some of the biggest angelfish and look-down fish I've ever seen in an aquarium. I'm surprised that people are even able to keep these in their home aquarium because of the general size they get, as you can see here.
Mark made a friend. So this place is pretty incredible, and like everywhere there are enclosures, there's aviaries, there's no wasted space. You can just get lost in here for days.
And as we continue on, there's more animals, and like I said, it's probably not just an aquarium. It should be considered a zoo based on how many other animals there are, with maybe just a focus on the aquariums. And then we saw the beautiful flamingos, which were right next to the big shark tank that we saw as we passed through the tunnel. And out of all the public aquariums I've been to, this may be my favorite just because of the overall feel and immersion in nature that you get when you walk through this place. I haven't been to the Georgia Aquarium or the Monterey Aquarium, and those might be coming soon, but for now, this definitely holds the top spot on my list.
Okay guys, that does it for our trip in Dallas and at the Dallas World Aquarium here. It was an awesome place. Definitely felt like I was immersed in it the entire time. It was way more than just an aquarium, but thanks again to Will and Summer for being perfect tour guides for this. Hope you enjoyed seeing all the footage. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.